Leave Britney alone.
Hello, and welcome back to Annie's Review Time. I'm Annie's Review Time, and today we're discussing the hashtag Free Britney movement. So this is a disclaimer, right? I'm not a lawyer. I'm 15 years old. I clearly have no legal background. So don't take what I say as like, I'm doubting anyone's gonna do this, but I feel like there will be like some bozo who's like, well, this is how the law works. I don't care. All right, I don't care.
I don't care! Do you hear me? I don't care! So stop talking to me!
This is me presenting what I know about the Britney Spears case, my thoughts and opinions on it, and that's it. So yeah. Also, I'm filming this on July 3rd. So, if you hear fireworks, no you don't. Alright. Sign the petition linked in the description. Follow me on Instagram. And yeah, and then I think I did the intro. Alright, so like I said, I have no legal background. Also, I'm only saying what I know about the Free Britney movement. So yeah. So let's begin. Britney Spears is a pop icon who debuted with her hit song "Hit Me Baby One More Time" in the 1990s. Which year? I don't know. I didn't look it up. So I'll probably have it up somewhere. Britney Spears has been under a conservatorship since 2008. Recently, well, maybe in 2018, I think it was, that is when the Free Britney movement started, because people were concerned about whether or not Britney Spears was being taken care of properly by her conservatorship. So let's discuss now. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. The Free Britney movement, like I said, it was started by the fans who were concerned over Britney Spears' well-being, whether or not she was being controlled or being abused by the people in charge of her conservatorship, which by people, her dad, who was at one time in charge of both her, I might point to the wall because it's fun, I enjoy it, so, who were in charge of both, who was in charge of both her financial conservator thing and her personal well-being and medical conservator thing. So, in 2019, her father, Jamie Spears, was taken off as the conservator of her personal and medical conservatorship thing, and Jody Montgomery was placed as the conservator of her medical and personal thing, because she's a doctor. She has some sort of she's a professional, so that's why they put her. So the main people who we're going to be talking about here are Britney Spears, pop icon; Jamie Spears, loser; Justin Timberlake, fellow loser; who else? Jamie Lynn Spears, flop; and is there anybody else? I mentioned Brian Spears, loser. Yeah, okay. So, Britney Spears, pop icon, you know her songs. Even if you're not a fan, you know her songs. You know who she is. Her impact on pop culture, unmatched. For the past 20 plus years, she has been, people know who Britney Spears is. Her mental breakdown that took place in the early 2000s is something that a lot of people know about, even though, I didn't grow up in the 90s. I was born in 2006, so I didn't know what was going on, but I still know about the breakdown. I know about her relationship with Justin Timberlake. Those denim outfits haunt me, and I also didn't watch Zoe 101, so I have no, like, personal connection to her sister. Like, I watched maybe, like, a few episodes, and it just wasn't for me. It was just kind of stupid. But, yeah, so that's what I, like, the closest I'm familiar with Britney Spears, besides the Free Britney movement, is her episode of Glee. Well, her 2 episodes of Glee. So, yeah. Next. The Free Britney movement was coined by Jordan Miller. Yeah, Jordan Miller, who coined the term in 2018, even though 10 years after the conservatorship started. Britney Spears recently, maybe last week, has spoken out about her conservatorship, and these are the claims she's making against her family and her conservators. Yeah, here we go. So I have my notes here, so if you see me, like, looking off, that's what I'm doing. Yeah, alright. So, Britney Spears says, these are all for legal reasons. I'm not going to say this is what's happening. This is what's happening. These are Britney Spears' claims. I do believe her, but it's all allegedly. But I do think that she is telling the truth. But I can't just say that that's what he's doing. This is all allegedly. So, yeah. All right. So, Britney says she isn't allowed to be married and has an IUD in to prevent her from having kids. Now, Britney Spears already has 2 children. One is named James J, and the other one isn't important. So, Britney Spears said in Carpool Karaoke with James Corden that she wanted to have three more kids. But she didn't want to get married again at that point in time. She said she wanted to have 3 more kids, and but in her claims to the court, which you can hear on YouTube, they have the full court hearing. I'll probably link it or put it in, like, a card or something. I don't know where the cards are. They're, like, somewhere here. So, she was forced to have an IUD, which prevents her from having children. It's a form of birth control that, like, is inserted. It's not like a pill. It's inserted somewhere. Like, I think it's, like, on your arm, or maybe it's, like, a different. I don't know. But, like, it's inserted. It's, like, instead of having to take pills. All right. So, Britney Spears also said her Vegas residency. She said she was forced to do her Vegas residency, and that she said she choreographed all of her dancers for, like, all of the dance moves and everything, and she refused to do a specific dance move. And after that, she said that they started being really nice to her and said, if you don't want to do the residency, you don't have to. And when she said she didn't want to do it, that she got a call from her therapist, who is now deceased, and he told her that they said that she was being defiant and that she wasn't taking her medication, even though Britney Spears says that the medication that she had been taking for the past 5 years was she had to take it in the morning, and so that it wasn't at rehearsal, so they had no way of knowing whether or not she was or wasn't taking her medication. And she claims that she was, but she said they didn't know, the people who reported her. So because of that, because of her being defiant, she was forced to go on lithium. And she said, Britney Spears said that she felt perpetually drunk, and that lithium, I'll probably, like, have some sort of thing on screen so you can see, like, the effects of it. She said that you're not supposed to take it for more than 5 months, and that she felt numb and drunk, and she doesn't even drink. She said that she isn't allowed to ride in a car driven by her boyfriend. She says that she is depressed and that she cries every day. And she said the reason why she hasn't spoken about her claims was because she felt that nobody would believe her and that she would be laughed at and mocked. So she pretended to be okay.
Cry of, go back! The event, MTV's Video Music Awards, live from Las Vegas. Miss Spears opening the show with her new single, the unfortunately titled Gimme More. As Spears dipped her toe back into the entertainment pond, you could figuratively feel it freezing over beneath her. It was that skimpy, glittery bikini. Gimme more clothing. There were the tentative dance moves. Gimme more rehearsals. And sometimes the lip syncing was not exactly synced. As for the reviews, you know you're in trouble when even the Associated Press begins. Somewhere, Kevin Federline is laughing. Spears received, the AP said she looked bleary and unprepared, which, you know, is me most nights. USA Today called it truly forgettable. The always unkind New York Post jiggled like Jell-O, and good old TMZ.com headlined with R.I.P. Britney's career 1998-2007. But that...
Oh, Keith, way better than I expected. I am still dancing. I mean, her eyes were open, her lips were moving, she remained conscious the entire time.
That was dancing? I thought she was just having trouble, some sort of inner ear problem, and she had trouble standing up.
Well, yeah, it's a mixture of those.
That, as we mentioned earlier, that she said she shed tears backstage. Extra claimed that she was seen texting somebody immediately after her performances. Any guesses on the nature of the text, Joel, and the recipient of the text?
Well, I'm not sure, but I think we can rule out dietitian, personal trainer, psychologist, clothing stylist, makeup artist, nanny.
25 years old, and she's already accomplished everything she's going to accomplish in her life. It's mind-blowing, and she's so grown up. She's a mother, you know, it's crazy. It's weird to think that just a few years ago on this very show, she was this, like, sweet, innocent little girl in slutty clothes riding around with a python. Have you seen Britney's kids? Oh my God, they are the most adorable mistakes you will ever see. They are so cute. They're as cute as the hairless vagina they came out of.
Not funny!
She also says, she wasn't allowed to get married, and she said her family did nothing, and her dad had to have approved everything that happened to her. She said she was forced to go into a home where there were people constantly watching her 24/7, and she would have to get drunk in front of them. There was no like partition. She was forced to be naked, to have to change in front of them and everything. They were constantly watching her. She also says that she wants the ability to sue her family. Flip that. Okay, so she says she wants the ability to sue her family. So now we get into her family, right? We have Jamie Spears, the head of everything. So, Jamie Spears was put as Britney's conservator in 2008. He is her father, and he has said some things about Free Britney. He says that it's a conspiracy theory. He said that it's a joke, and that it's up to the state of California what is right for his daughter, not anybody else. Britney Spears is a 39-year-old woman. Yeah, so keep that in mind. She is not like 10. Also, I'm going to be talking about Britney Spears. Okay, you'll see. So, after her recent court hearing, where she was recently, she was denied the request to have her father cut off as her conservator. She is now trying to make the conservatorship end completely. But this last hearing was from a court order from 7 months ago. So now she's having a new one done to just cut it off completely. So Jamie Spears has responded to his daughter's court proceeding thing, and he said he has been cut off from communicating with her, and he has now flipped all of the blame from him to Jodi Montgomery, the lady who I said was put on, like, you know, if you remember, the lady who was put on as Britney's conservator of her medical and personal, like, in her person, conservatorship. I don't know what words are, apparently, because I keep messing up. Anyways, yeah, so he's putting all the blame onto Jodi Montgomery, saying that she is the one who doesn't have his daughter's best interest at heart, because he says that he likes to remind people that he's only in charge of her finances, and he hasn't been able to dictate her medically or personally since 2019. But the damage could already be done because it's only 2021. It's not like there's a 10-year difference. Also, you have the money to be able to bribe people, allegedly, not saying that he's doing this, but also he's able to do it. So Jamie Spears, he says he's been cut off from communicating with her. And that it's Jodi Montgomery's fault for what's happening, and saying that she doesn't have Britney's best interest at heart. This counteract Britney's claims that her father loved the control to hurt his own daughter, because everything had to have been approved by him. Britney's Vegas residency, I believe, was in 2017, 2018, so he could have still done all of those things that she's claiming, as Jodi Montgomery was only put on in 2019 after Jamie Spears had health stuff. So, yeah. Next, from Jamie Spears, we move on to Brian Spears. Brian Spears is Britney's 40-something-year-old brother. He is also a loser. He went on to a podcast called Not Seen on TV, I think it's called. So yeah, he went on there, and he was like, saying that his family has become a lot closer since the conservatorship, and he says that they all just kind of hope for the best for Britney, and that she hasn't really done anything for herself since she was around 15. So the conservatorship is what's best for her, because how could she even manage doing things on her own if she hasn't done these? She's always had people around her since she was 15. So he's also said other things, like calling the Free Britney movement a joke, and saying things like, it's because there's so many strong women in his family. It was something similar to that. Something to that effect. This also plays into Britney Spears saying that her entire family sat back and did nothing as her father ruined her life. So yeah, that's all I really have to say about Brian Spears, because that's all I could really find about him. Him speaking in that podcast at the time was seen as such a big insight into what was happening with Britney Spears, because there was, if I can find the TikTok, I'll play it, but there was a man who said he had this letter that he got from Britney where she claimed that every time she would try to speak about what was happening to her through her conservatorship, they would threaten to take her children away from her. I don't know if this letter was actually received from Britney. I actually don't know who that guy is. If he's a singer or someone famous, then okay, whatever. But yeah, it does kind of fall in line with what has happened, because Britney doesn't have complete custody over her children. She has 12% custody over her kids, because of her father and him kicking in the door and violently shaking her son, James J., who also... Can we take a moment? Jamie Spears, the dad, right? Jamie Lynn Spears, the daughter, Britney's sister, then her husband, Jamie's husband, Jamie, and then Britney's son, James, who I'm guessing they call Jamie as well. was that the point? Like, are they all gonna be an army of James? That sounds horrible because most of them sound like horrible people. Anyways, James J said in an Instagram live that his grandfather is a horrible person, but said that his father and grandmother are good people. He said that his mother, I believe he said that his mother was not being controlled, but he also said that his mom was thinking of quitting music completely. So, like I said, James J is Britney and Kevin Federline's son. Next, we have Justin Timberlake.
You see, they call me Lake. Timberlake. The
So, Justin Timberlake was Britney Spears' boyfriend from some time in the 2000s to another time in the 2000s. I don't know when they got together or when they broke up, but they were kind of they're a big couple pop culture wise. Once again, those denim jackets, not denim jackets. It was denim on denim on denim, like denim cowboy hat, denim cowboy boots. It was just all really, really bad. It was supposed to give, but it did not give what needed to be gave to the highest of giving, if that makes any sense. And they matched, and it was so ugly. Anyways, yeah. So, Justin Timberlake, if you don't know, Justin Timberlake, after he and Britney Spears broke up, he wrote the song Cry Me a River, which then it was released in 2002, so I'm guessing they did it in the 90s and the 2000s. Yeah, all right. So, he wrote the song called Cry Me a River, which features a Britney lookalike. The girl looks like Britney, and it's Cry Me a River. She's cheating on him. Next, he has another song called What Goes Around Comes Around, where he has Scarlett Johansson playing his wacky girlfriend who ends up cheating on him. This was released during Britney Spears' divorce. So take that as you will. The title is What Goes Around Comes Around. And like, this had been like maybe over a year since they had broken up, so it's a little weird. Justin Timberlake gives me big frat boy energy. I don't like him. He has such a smug looking face. Also, Culture Vulture also used black people to make it to the top, and then immediately went back to making white music.
I want to ask you, for the shoot for the Rolling Stone magazine, was it hot? I mean, how hot was it in there that you had to take your jacket off?
I have
What are you
no
doing
idea
to him,
why
sis?
I'm nude. With the seamless lace and leather, and I was like, can I wear baggy things? And I realized just being butt naked on top, and then the other baggy things was just like a medium compromise.
I like
Yeah,
it.
she just, you know, sometimes
was
you gotta
cold.
let them know I've been working out.
Yeah.
I've been in the gym.
Wait a damn minute. Wait a damn.
Least of the problems here. Well, not the least, but you know, whatever. So, then he did the What Goes Around Comes Around, and in that video, Scarlett Johansson cheats on him, and then she promptly gets into a car crash and dies. Keep in mind, this is supposed to be Britney Spears. I don't care if someone's like, no, it could be. No, it was such, the timing was so clearly, it was meant to be Britney Spears. The song is called What Goes Around Comes Around. Britney Spears was going through her divorce, and he claimed that Britney cheated on him. He also started talking about their intimate life, which led to that horrid Diane Sawyer interview. where Britney Spears literally started crying. Anyways, yeah, so it led to that. Then he had this interview, he just was speaking. He was speaking, and they asked him if he would do a Vegas residency. And he said, no, that's for more washed... Are y'all serious? Anyways, that's for more washed up celebrities. Sir, you are the washed up celebrity you speak of. Your last hit was Can't Stop the Feeling in 2016. We are in 2021. We are in 2021. He doesn't even like that song. You're making music that you do not like so that you can get hits. And it didn't even go to number 1. It didn't even go to number 1. That's the sad and pathetic part. You are the washed up celebrity you speak of. At least people like Britney Spears. People like her as a person. People don't like you. The Janet Jackson incident? People do not like you. You are a loser. You are a loser. That's who you are. Like, you are the washed up celebrity that you're talking trash about. Go look in the mirror and be like, should I be insulting other people who came out at the same time as me? Should I be insulting the same people who started at the same time as me and calling them washed up when I haven't had a hit since 2016? Anyways, moving on. Yeah, so Justin Timberlake recently got backlash for showing his support for Britney Spears. He also had this stupid apology that he did, apology for both Britney and Janet. It was your typical Notes app apology. It was like 5 paragraphs long. I read all of it. It was 5 paragraphs long, and it was really stupid, and it didn't acknowledge what he did. It did not acknowledge what he did at all. It was just kind of like, hey, I was young and dumb, so I ruined other people's lives. Anyways, so that's what happened. And so now he got backlash for supporting Britney Spears. I'll put up his post on the screen. You can read it for yourself because it seems so fake. And that's who Justin Timberlake is. He's a fake, he's a phony, culture vulture. You were making black music, now you're white again. I don't know. It just seems... It's very not questionable. It's not questionable at all because it's clear what's going on. He used black people to become famous. Well, he used both Britney Spears and black people to what's the word? Not capitalize. Catapult to the top, and then immediately went back to his roots of whiteness. Yeah, so he's a horrible person for multiple reasons. And Jessica Biel, check your husband, because he cannot keep his ex-girlfriend's name out of his mouth. His ex-girlfriend from the early 2000s. Also, he was cheating on his wife while she was pregnant. Also, he can't keep his ex-girlfriend from the early 2000s name out of his mouth. Like, move on. You are married with like 3 kids. Go about your business. Why are you publicly talking about her, shading her in interviews when you have not had a hit since 2016? We are in 2021. Anyway, can't stop that. You are making music for kids' movies that you don't even want to make. It's sad. It's pathetic. You are a loser. Get a hobby that does not include Britney Spears, you obsessed weirdo.
You are dumb, unattractive, overweight, unworthy, untalented.
Anyways, next we move on to Jamie Lynn. She got on my nerves too. Jamie Lynn, Zoe 101 girl, Nickelodeon child. Britney Spears' little sister. I didn't know that they were related until I saw at the RDMAs, the 2016 RDMAs, where Jamie Lynn just comes out and is like, singing. She sang a song. I forget which one it was. It wasn't Circus or, no. I don't know which one it was, but she sang a song. And so Britney was happy, right? And I'm like, oh, okay, that's cute. They're sisters, whatever. The last time I heard about Jamie Lynn Spears, before the recent stuff, was a couple of months ago when they were trying to get the conservatorship switched from Jamie to Jamie Lynn, right? Now I'll tell you my thoughts and theories on why that was, because clearly Jamie Lynn is a loser, as well, and a flop. Kids' Choice Award winner coming against Britney Spears, pop icon. Anyways, Jamie Lynn Spears is a sponge, a leech, that's what it was. A leech who leeched off her sister's fame and fortune to have a Nickelodeon career and then didn't care after that. You can cry all the fake tears you want on your Instagram story. Nobody believes you. Nobody's doing anything because Britney Spears said you sat back and did nothing. If you did something, then Britney would be like, the only person who helped me was my sister, but your name didn't come out her mouth. Well, technically it did, because you and your dad and your husband and her son are all named the same thing. It's weird. Why are there so many Jamies? It's very strange. Anyways, it shouldn't bother me as much as it does. But it's like, why is everyone named the same thing? With Britney and Brian, the peak creativity, because she's named after her mom and her dad. Right? And I'm like, okay, that's cute, whatever. But you marry someone named Jamie? And then Britney names her kid James after her dad? Jamie? I'm guessing that was the plan, to call him Jamie. I'm guessing that was the plan. It's very strange. Very strange. Moving back to Jamie Lynn. She cries all these tears about how she doesn't care if her sister wants to go to Mars, or what was it, like make $1 billion or something, because it doesn't affect her either way. Your sister is being abused, and you're like, doesn't affect me at all. Your whole career is based off of your sister. I don't know what lies you and Jamie and Jamie tell themselves, because your whole career, your fame and your fortune is based off of your sister. Why are you lying to yourself? She's like, I've paid my own bills since I was 10. And you wouldn't have been able to do that if your sister was not making the music that she was. Let's think. Because it's like all of the Jamies share a brain cell, because the thoughts are not working correctly, because she wants to cry the tears on her Instagram Live, but where were the tears when your sister was being abused? Where were the tears when your sister was being put on lithium? It doesn't make sense. Well, it makes sense. You're a leech who used your sister to not even make it to the top. You did not even leech correctly. You made it to here when you should have been able to get to here, because you leached incorrectly. You didn't even make it, because saying Jamie Lynn Spears and Britney Spears, they do not have the same weight. Nickelodeon star, superstar. It's not international pop icon. I cannot stress it enough. So I just don't. Hey guys, so this is me editing and realizing that I never explained the situation that I thought was going on with Jamie Lynn petitioning to become a conservator instead of Jamie Spears, the dad. So I believe, once again, this is all allegedly, I think that they were just trying to get people off of their tail by, instead of having Jamie Spears, they were going to have Jamie Lynn, because people didn't know that Jamie Lynn was a bad person, allegedly. I think, well, at least as far as I know, people didn't dislike Jamie Lynn Spears until Britney's testimony happened. So I think that they were just trying to get people off of their tail so that people would stop bothering them so that they could abuse Britney allegedly in peace. So that's what I think. I don't know what you guys think, but yeah, I realized I just never talked about it. I just forgot and kept moving on. So yeah, all right, back to the video. It doesn't make any sense. Anyways, so Jamie Lynn cried these crocodile tears on her Instagram story or Instagram live or whatever, saying she supported her sister in private. Just because she didn't use a hashtag doesn't mean she doesn't care about her sister. Like, so annoying. Like, it's so fake. And you're saying it doesn't affect you either way. You're like, oh, she's my big sister. I never cared about that stuff. I just care about her as a sister. As a sister, you should be like, hey, you shouldn't be being abused. Not that way. Like, don't say it to her. Say it to, like, the abusers. But, like, you know what I'm saying. Like, you know, step up. Do these sisterly duties. Because the least thing you owe her is your entire career. Because nobody's checking for Jamie. Nobody's checking for Jamie. None of them. Nobody's checking for any of the Jamies. Britney Spears built that family to where it is today. That's why as Brian said, the family's been closer than ever. Yeah, because you're all spending her money. Yeah, because you're all ruining her life. Like, it just doesn't, it's like, they all share a brain cell. And it's very concerning because, like, they're not even, like, smart with their evil, allegedly. They're not even smart because, okay, they claimed that Britney Spears had dementia. They claim that Britney Spears has dementia. If you don't know, dementia is a chronic or persistent dementia is defined as a chronic or persistent disorder of the mental processes caused by brain disease or inquiry and marked by memory disorders, personality changes, and impaired reasoning. You don't get cured for dementia. Britney Spears has been on several shows. She's done several concerts. She in her court hearing, which I heard her testimony. She was very lucid. She was very clear. She was very, there was no impairment. She was on X Factor during her comeback after her breakdown. She was on X Factor. And she was perfectly, like, nothing was wrong with her. There was nothing that seemed off. There was no random bouts of, like, it was just, she was constantly, she was lucid. She was just, there was nothing off. So a person with dementia, that's not how it's going to be. Maybe they'll, like, start talking about something completely different. Maybe they'll, like, wander off or something. There's impairment. You can tell. They're not going to be able to hold this full conversation with you the way Britney Spears was. She acts like any other 39-year-old woman without dementia. And that's the what they were saying about her was not matching her actions or how she would present herself. For example, there are other celebrities who have mental disorders. I'll name one, Kanye West, and you do see his manic episodes. He goes on manic episodes frequently. I don't like Kanye West, but not because of his bipolar disorder, but because of his anti-blackness. And yeah, so there hasn't been any of those signs with Britney Spears, so it made me feel like, for like the past year or so, I've been talking about this with like my family and stuff, and I've been saying that I feel like they're exaggerating what's wrong with her. Even if there's anything wrong with her, then they're exaggerating what is, or it's just nothing wrong. And I seem to have been proven correctly, because none of what's happening is matching what is going on with her. Because then after they said she had to, like, after what they've said about her, she's done, like I said, the Vegas residency, and she was like performing over Rings of Fire for like circus, or I'm guessing, but like she was performing just fine. It wasn't making sense. Next we have okay, now we have the aftermath of what happened after her testimony. So the aftermath of what happened from her testimony is that now everyone knows that the Free Britney movement wasn't a conspiracy, allegedly, and everything that we thought is true, allegedly. So, now that we know that everything that we thought was true is true, allegedly, what happened since then? Now, after Britney Spears spoke about the abuse that she's been facing at the hands of her conservatorship, one of the conservators, a business, I forget their name, but I'll probably have it up if I can find it, they want out of the conservatorship. They want to withdraw, because they said that they had no idea about anything that was going on to that degree with Britney, and she says she wants the entire thing to end. So, what does that mean? That is actually a pretty good first step, I believe. If like I said, I am not a lawyer, so I have no idea whether or not this is, from my understanding, this is good news. But I am not a lawyer. I've never been to law school. My law knowledge comes from the practice in Law and Order. So if you trust those sources, then yeah, take my legal advice. But if you don't, find a real lawyer, because I'm not one. So I believe this is a good first step, because first of all, everyone finding out what's really going on, fantastic. What's allegedly really going on is fantastic. And Britney has been able to explain her side of the events which have allegedly happened, and now that people know what's happening, now there's more stuff we can do. Now, okay, I watched the Britney Spears documentary, right? I enjoyed it. It put a lot of stuff in order of the events, and it explained a lot of stuff to me, someone who didn't grow up in the 90s or the early 2000s. So technically I mostly grew up in the early 2010s. Yeah, but it's like I was like, how old was I when it was 2010? I was 4 to 5. No, I was 4. So, yeah. As someone who didn't grow up during that time period, it put a lot of stuff in perspective to me about Britney Spears and what's happening with her. Now, a few months ago, I heard that they're making another Britney Spears documentary. Netflix is doing it. First of all, stop it. I can't stand Netflix. Second of all, stop it. There's no need to make there's no need to make money off of someone's abuse and continue to do it. It's the same thing with the Ted Bundy documentaries or movies, the Jeffrey Dahmer stuff. Nobody cares. Not that nobody cares. The stories have already been told. Also, instead of doing that, first of all, a lot of these publications and media outlets need to take responsibility for the part that they played in Britney Spears' takedown, in her breakdown, and the falling of like her life. Their constant harassment and judgment had ruined Britney's life and the way the public perceived her for many years. And of course, as mental health and stuff like that, and the understanding and acceptance of mental health and mental disorders have come, particularly during the late 2010s and the 2020s. So as the understanding of what happened with Britney Spears and the need of the public saying that the media needs to apologize to women like Britney Spears and Amanda Bynes and others. Paris Hilton, I think they said as well. Of course, Paris Hilton has other stuff that's going on that needs as well to be fixed and dealt with. But the issue is the media brought Britney Spears up as America's sweetheart, and then when she didn't match the image that was pushed upon her, they tore her down, which is what happens with a lot of female singers. Taylor Swift comes to mind, and it looks like that's what's going on with Olivia Rodrigo, Stream Sour. Anyways, the media's not going to change. It's a dog-eat-dog type thing. They see that Britney Spears being liked is what's the thing now. So now they're going to say, oh, free Britney. Oh, stop, support Britney Spears. Free Britney. Let's make a documentary about it. Not talking about the role that they played in the destruction of Britney Spears' life and where she is now. Same thing with Justin Timberlake. He's not going to take accountability for what he did in the media's look on Britney Spears in order to catapult his rise to the top. And then ultimately his downfall as well. Once again, hasn't had a hit since 2016, but moving on. So what I think that Britney Spears needs to be freed from the conservatorship. It's clearly doing a lot more harm than it is good. So even if the conservatorship as a thought was a good idea, it clearly does not have a good execution. Also, I have been made aware that Amanda Bynes is also under conservatorship, so free Amanda Bynes as well. And yeah, that's my video. So like, comment, share, subscribe. Watch my other video. I realized I didn't do this in my last video. Watch my other video. Like my last video will be like somewhere like maybe here, and then my other another video will be here, and then like my channel will be like here or something. And will it be my channel or will it be like, it's like, I think it's like my channel. And then follow me on Instagram, sign the petition linked below. And yeah, alright. See y'all next week. Or 6 months. Who knows? I'm unpredictable. Oh my gosh, why am I doing it again? Anyways, I'm sorry. I apologize. Bye.